right, so my book today is a West African creation tale, The Fire Children. And what I try to do is to read culturally relevant books to the young people and also to whoever else is listening, watching. I think it's especially important. We're all part of this world, and this book talks about that and how people were created and went all over the world. But we all came from the same place. We are one people, one race, but we need to have a better understanding of each other. And so I read these books, which are culturally relevant to the young people, or until I run out of them, and then I'll figure out what else I read. Maybe a little ducky or something, itsy bitsy spider. But anyway, so this is The Fire Children. It's a West African creation tale by Eric Modern and pictures by Frane Lesac. And it'll probably take about 10 minutes for me to get through this, if that's fine. And so, The Fire Children, a West African creation tale. Long ago, Nyame, the great sky god, lived alone in the wide blue sky. One day he took a basket and filled it with soil, trees, flowers, insects, and birds, and he hung it in the sky. That basket was the earth. Then Nyame made a round trapdoor in the sky so he could climb down to visit the earth, with little holes for light to shine through. The trapdoor and holes were the moon and stars. So there's the earth. He hung the basket. There's Nyame, the great sky god, and Nyame in the Akan language from Ghana means God. And they believe in one God, and that's Nyame. And so he hung the basket in the sky. There's the earth with the animals and everything else. One day, Nyame was looking down through his trapdoor moon, admiring the earth below. But deep inside him, two little spirit people were curious. I have an idea, one told the other. Let's try to see what is going on. So they climbed up Nyame's throat, into his mouth, and over his tongue. They were just looking out through his teeth when suddenly he gave a tremendous sneeze. Phew! The two spirit people, Asoya and Kwame and Kweku Anansi, went flying out the trapdoor, down, 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 and landed with a thump on the earth. So these two spirit people were inside Nyame. He sneezes, and out they go. They land on the earth. They pick themselves up and looked. They picked themselves up and looked around at the tall trees and hanging vines, the dark pools and splashing streams, and the brilliant birds flashing through the leaves. Nearby, they found a warm cave and decided to make it their home. Every day, they went outside to explore, sing with the wind, and dance with the falling leaves. One morning, Asoya felt lonely, and she stayed at home in the cave. But when Kwekwanansi returned, she had a big smile on her face. Oh, Asoya, he said. When I left this morning, you were sad. Now you are glowing like a hibiscus flower. What has happened? I have an idea, she said. Oh no, not another idea, cried Kwekwanansi. The last time you had an idea, we were inside Nyame. Now look where we are. Listen, said Asoya. It will not hurt you to listen. So she tries to get him to listen. There they are. First, we could take some clay, Asoya began, and mold it into little shapes just like us, with arms and legs and heads. We could bake the shapes in the fire and then breathe life into them. We could call them children. That's not a bad idea, said Kwekwanansi. So the next day, Asoya dug up clay outside the cave and they made a hot glowing fire. Then they shaped little figures like themselves and put them on the fire to bake. So they shaped little figures, the fire, put it on the fire. Suddenly, they heard footsteps crashing outside in the forest. Nyami was coming to visit. Frightened, he would see what they were doing. Kwekwanansi and Asoya snatched little clay figures from the fire, wrapped them in leaves, and hid them at the back of the cave. He's scrambling. Nyami's face appeared at the cave opening. There he is. So, my spirit people, he said, are you enjoying my earth? Oh, yes, Nyami, they replied. And are you being good? Oh, yes, Nyami, they said. We're being very good. Well, take good care of everything I have made, Nyami boomed. Then he disappeared. The next day, Asoya made a new batch of clay shapes. No sooner had they began to bake than Nyami was back again. This time, Kwekwanansi and Asoya had no chance to take out the little figures. So they stood in front of the fire instead, hiding their work. And this time, Nyami stayed talking for quite a while. Maybe he suspected something. When he finally went on his way, the clay figures had been baking a long time. And so it went on. Every day they made more shapes and put them on the fire, and every day Nyami came to visit. Sometimes they heard him approaching and snatched little figures from the fire. Sometimes they kept them in the fire until he had gone. But at last, Nyami climbed back through the trapdoor and up into the sky world above. So they kept baking all these little people, different shapes, different figures, baking them. And then Asoya and Kwekwanansi gathered all the fire children. Some were beautifully brown, some were cinnamon red, some were honey yellow, and some were shell pink. Some were hardly baked at all, and they were white. Also, Asoya and Kwekwanansi loved them all because they were their children. Now Asoya and Kwekwanansi breathed life into the fire children. One by one, they awoke, yawned, stretched, and opened their eyes, just like children waking up in the morning. Then they stood up and ran off to play. So look at them. All different colors, all different sizes, children. Years later, when the fire children grew up, they wandered to all corners of the earth and had children of their own. And that is why today, the earth is filled with people of many different colors: black, white, red, yellow, brown, and pink. Asoya and Kwekwanansi love them still. They always will. The end. So there you have it. That's a West African creation story. And it actually says that people all came from the same God, the same place, the same parents. They baked them, and so they have different colors. Okay, and so there you have it. The Fire Children, a West African creation tale. I hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.